Hey everybody, it's time for news! It's the GameCast NewsCast ready for a broadcast.
Welcome back everybody to another episode of the GameCast NewsCast. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Maximol. Say hello, Max.
Hey dude, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. We don't have Vox this week because construction is going on and he can't hear us and we can't hear him.
We had him for a couple seconds.
Yeah, all of the useful things are happening there. So, so no Vox, but we do have Sarah, Orange Lightning, again from the review team. Say hello.
Hello.
Well done. You managed it successfully.
Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked. The ability to say hello. So, as you know, all our links can be found in the description, but just to get a little bit of shilling out of the way so you don't have to deal with it further down the line, let's just go round where we can all be found. I can be found on Twitter at SnowyDuffield and Twitch at twitch.tv/MetalNerdDude. Max, where can you be found?
Anywhere on the internet under Maximol, Maxemole.
Lovely. And Sarah, where can you be found?
YouTube and Twitch under Orange Lightning Playzone and Twitter under Orange Light PZ.
Cool. Shilling over. Let's go on with the newscast. We will start today talking about everybody's favourite game. It's become a game that you will love to hate. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And apparently a lot of people love to hate it at the moment because 15,000 people have given the game a negative review on Steam in less than a day.
Review bombing, I love it. The greatest new trend.
The best new trend of salty gamers.
It's even funnier because Valve put out the quote-unquote fix for this.
Yeah.
And here it is.
It's worked well, Valve. Well
done.
I
guess it's not going to do much, I feel like, because people are going to buy the game anyways.
People are going to buy the game. People have already bought the game. What the bloody hell does it matter?
Yeah, 15,000 people isn't much out of the over 1 million that play it. Really.
It's more than that, isn't it? Yeah. It's like 1.5 million? It's ridiculous.
It's apparently doing this because there are Chinese players that are getting mad because they're inserting Chinese ads within the game.
Well, it's not them that are doing it. It's because you have to play... Jesus Christ. I've just noticed that their all-time reviews are actually mixed.
Really?
Holy shit. That's amazing.
That's surprising.
Anyway, yes, the Chinese users of the game, because of the way everything's set up, have to use a VPN to play the game. Whether it's to do with, Chinese laws, or whether it's to do with the way China reacts to games, or whether it's just, server-related issues. They have to play the game through a VPN into an American server, and it gets them a lot of lag, which isn't surprising, but the problem is now worse, and ads are now appearing because, this VPN that they are all being made to use is putting ads onto the game.
Lovely.
Yes!
So now they're being review bombed.
They are... Jesus, I've just seen the spike. That is insane. Oh my god, that is absolute madness.
Has it gotten worse?
It's ridiculous, right?
It's trend... you can see the trend over time since April. And it's trended towards the positive a lot more than it was negative. But just at the end, this spike literally just poof down. That's insane. If you go onto their Steam page, you can see it. That is madness.
I think people are also mad though because the Chinese servers get a lot of lag, and this isn't really addressing that. But people aren't sure if Bluehole approved these ads or something like that. They're just kind of here now, and they don't really know why.
Yeah, I think this game. Remember when this started out as a darling? It was an indie darling.
Yeah,
it's gone a bit wrong, isn't it, in the last month or two?
Yeah. I feel like every week we have something to say on it, and it's never good.
It's not anymore. Like, it used to be like, oh, wow, it's got this many concurrents. It's sold this many. Look at this amazing indie game. Look how well it's doing. And now we're like, oh, it's got microtransactions in it. That's a bit shit. Oh, it's banning people to appease streamers. Oh, that's a bit shit, isn't it? Oh, look,
there's a spike.
Yeah.
Look, now there's a giant negative review spike. That's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, and that has actually been enough to push their all-time reviews down to mixed, because that many reviews in that amount of time, like, that's quite a significant amount of their review, like their amount of reviews. It is, how many is it? 26,000.
Whoa.
Jesus.
People are
Wow.
mad.
This is from the period between the 28th of September. Why is it done in American dates? I'm not in America. And the 4th of October.
Looking at the reviews, it doesn't look like they really. I mean, some of it is because of the Chinese thing as well, but there's a lot of people who are mad about the ping, like the servers, because there was a recent.
Yeah, it's not just this.
No, there was a recent server issue over the weekend, which they tried to fix, but it was down for like 3 hours or something for them to fix it, and they said it was only going to be like half an hour.
That's silly.
You're
That is
eating
really
into
silly.
people's game time here. What you doing?
That's quite mad. It's the same, mind you, it's the same problem that Destiny's having at the moment. Destiny 2 is going down a lot for maintenance. Like, an anomalously large amount of maintenance. I like the fact that somebody's review of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is actually a chicken stir-fry recipe. Genuinely, it's a chicken stir-fry recipe. Serves for 10 minutes to prepare, 10 minutes to cook. 325 calories a serving.
Make your own chicken dinner. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they keep trying to try out certain things. Yeah, but like seeing if they won't get caught, and then they're getting caught every single time anyways, but they're still trying. I don't know. I guess because they have all the money and all the players, I guess they just don't really care.
No, they
I
don't
lost
care
my
anymore.
sympathy after the Fortnite Battle Royale fiasco. I kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Oh, God.
as soon as you start flouncing around with the whole sort of copyright type thing, you know, oh, that's my idea. It's like, yeah, but you can't own things like that. It's too broad. Yeah. So, no. Bad developer. Slap.
They're definitely not the worst Steam devs, but they're certainly not the best by any stretch of the imagination anymore. It's a shame. Because, you know, PUBG is apparently a very good game.
Yeah, my friends like it. They still play it and love it, so...
I wanted it. I genuinely wanted it, but because of the actions of the developer, I don't think I want it anymore.
I just like watching my friends. They're pretty good. They do like one of them is like a DJ, and he plays songs out loud on his game. So while they're driving around, they've got things like the Venga Boys playing. They don't give a shit that it means that they're literally like holding up a big red flag going, come and shoot me. They just do it for a laugh. Like they've had things like the Sims music playing. The Pokemon battle music when they're having a stealth off with someone. That's absolutely
awesome.
hilarious.
That's pretty
That is
great.
awesome.
So I like it for that reason, because they don't take it seriously and it's just really funny.
So does anybody else have anything to say on PUBG before we move on?
Not in particular.
No, I'm done.
No.
Yeah.
I'd say
It's
if...
just same thing.
yeah,
Stuff always happens now.
Yeah, if you were on the fence about picking it up, I would maybe say no. No sympathy left for Bluehole. They're just shady. Speaking of awful things, this is very much an episode of Snowy's Salt, incidentally. The Nintendo Creators Program is, yeah, Can't live stream anymore if you want to do Nintendo games, and people who might make a living off live streaming Nintendo games, which some people probably do, have now had their career completely torpedoed because Nintendo are Nintendo and they're doing a Nintendo.
Yep, they have to switch to VODs if they want to keep going. This kind of pisses me off because the way Nintendo went about it is they're like, oh, you can still live stream if you want. You just can't have your entire channel affiliated with the creators program anymore. So you can de-partner your channel, and then you could still submit individual videos that you want to be approved by the creators program. But then you're only getting 60% ad revenue instead of 70%. Also, these videos take like 3 days to be approved. So if you send it in, like, you know, the 3 days is like the peak time. So by the time the video gets approved, people are done watching it. Yeah, people are done watching it in the first place. So you could still technically stream on those channels, but you're also not getting paid by the creators program. Now, you could be getting tipped, of course, but like, I don't know, unless you're really big, I feel like that's not a viable option.
No.
And it just kind of sucks because, like, Nintendo isn't obligated to, but I feel like they should come up with an alternative for people who want to live stream the games. Because people are thinking this is because of the PewDiePie situation. Because, you know, Nintendo is very controlling over their IPs.
They
and
are,
stuff like
but
that. And this allows
I have
them
an alternative, by the way.
What's the alternative?
Shut the fuck up and let people let's play and live stream your games, you stupid fucking stuck in the 1980s bastards. Get your heads out your fucking asses and get in the 21st century.
Yeah, you're stuck in the 1980s. You're not letting us live stream.
You are. It's fucking dumb.
No,
It's free
I
publicity.
I get it. From a business standpoint, it makes sense because they want to be controlling, and this allows them to control pretty much any content that gets put out on their game.
The thing is,
for consumers, it sucks.
Yes, if it actually affected their bottom line, I would agree. I very much doubt that it does. If anything, I think it affects their bottom line more to be doing this than it is to be not doing this.
I'd agree with that.
Because you're just fostering a relationship with consumers and content consumers that's just like, oh, they're not a very nice company. It's like, you want to be seen as the good guys. I'm assuming that anyway. Just let people live stream and let's play your games. It is free advertising. That is why 90% of game publishers and developers don't care and just let it happen.
Yeah.
Because it leads to sales. It is proven to lead to sales. You can see it. Like, there's been several games that a YouTuber called Nerdcute has played. Like, these have been fairly small games that are fairly cheap. But you can literally see the spike in sales from when he did the video on it. Like, it is calculable that he did that video that day. There is a noticeable spike in the sales. So there's proof that this works. But they're just being assholes.
It does. It works. There's, like, with all the big Let's Play YouTubers, you know, your people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye as well, when they play an indie game, you see so many comments of people going, oh, I'm going to buy this now. Oh, I want to play this. You know, oh, I want to check it out. You know, it's massive. It's a really big thing and it really helps people. But if Nintendo were in the majority, then it wouldn't be such a big deal. But because they are literally one of the only people who do this, it makes everyone go, oh, Nintendo are being Nintendo again. You know, so
I don't agree. I think if other publishers started doing this, I'd still be pissed off at them for doing it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be so like, oh, it's Nintendo. I mean, it's become a catchphrase.
Nintendo are the only one that does it.
It's become a catchphrase for them now, hasn't it? Oh, it's Nintendo being Nintendo. That's what people say to these responses now.
I don't know, there's a bit of a fallacy in your logic there, I think.
I don't know. I think people would still be mad about it, sure. I'm not saying, oh yeah, it would just become the norm and accepted. But they draw attention to themselves because they do it. And it makes people particularly despise them. Whereas if they were not alone, then they wouldn't be the only ones hated. Whereas now they are. They have no ally in this, basically. They're not following a trend or joining a group. They're just doing it on their own because, hey, Nintendo is Nintendo.
Yeah,
And they don't understand anything about money.
They don't understand anything.
That's actually a really good point.
The only reason they don't understand anything because they don't need to understand anything because they can very, very literally hemorrhage money for the next 50 years and not go bankrupt. That is how much money Nintendo has, and I'm not making that figure up.
No, you're right. But I'm also in defense of them. I think that they realize that, yeah, live streaming games does give it publicity and stuff, but does Nintendo really need that? Like, no one watching a Mario Odyssey live stream has never heard of it before.
But
You know what I mean?
They want to sell copies of the game.
Like, I get
So
that,
what's
but
it
I
gonna
think that
hurt?
they think that it won't affect their sales enough to where they should care. Probably. They probably view it as that their IP is more the protection of their IP is more important than the small loss of sales they'll get from prohibiting streaming. Because why else? That's the only logical conclusion I could come to.
Yeah, I just give up with the train of logic that they follow sometimes. So yeah, Nintendo are just doing their thing again, and I don't like it. So yay! Anything else to add from either of you?
I'm good.
No.
Cool. Then let's move on to even more salt! Hooray! Bethesda are shit, aren't they?
What an opening.
Just every company is shit. And yeah, Bethesda, once beloved maker of games, have in the last 6 months lost a lot of goodwill. As seems to be the case with quite a few people. But yeah, the last year they've lost quite a lot of goodwill with their going ahead of things like paid mods. Then
We're already shunned, by the way.
Yeah, they're shunned and they tried again, just called it something different. Then trying to justify them as mini DLCs. No, it's not. It is a paid mod. It's not mini DLC. It's a paid fucking mod. And then basically introducing microtransactions into Skyrim and Fallout 4. And I will also point out that the Bethesda Creation Club was until incredibly recently a massive piece of bloatware that was basically just infecting hard drives. Because, it's just stupid, because it downloaded everything. Like, downloaded every single, until very recent, until like the last week, it downloaded every single mod that was available, but put them behind files that you couldn't access without a special, like, key file.
Wow.
It gets to a point where someone releases a free mod to mod out your paid mods. Think about that, Bethesda. The specific bit of salt that I have towards Creation Club this week is, you know how survival mode is a thing that got included in Fallout and quite a lot of previous games that Bethesda did, for free, I might add. It is now a piece of paid DLC, or it will be, because at the moment it is technically free on Skyrim's Special Edition. The survival mode can be downloaded for free now, but I think in the next few days it won't be available for download, and you'll have to pay 800 of their special Bethesda bucks, or whatever they call their shitty in-thing currency.
Wait, don't you have to buy it anyways, even if you get it now? I thought it's like a free trial for a week.
No, you could get it and then you've got it, but now, like, once that thing's gone, then it's just literally you have to pay 800 of their fun bucks to get it. And would you like to know the best way to get 800 fun bucks? That's right.
Spending $10.
No, spending $15.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because, so you'd think that that Bethesda, they know exactly how much their amounts of currency are selling for, and the amounts of currency you get. The first tier of currency, because you can't just buy whatever you need for the mod, you have to buy their specific packaged amounts.
It's like Microsoft points.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the first tier costs, I think it's $7, and you get 750 points. Yes. So, guess how much the fucking Creation Club's survival mode costs?
800.
800 points! Just ever so slightly over what the first tier is. This is maddening. This is insanity.
I really, I don't know, I don't understand this transition Bethesda has been taking the past, year or so, and it seems like more people are letting this go than should.
This
I
shouldn't be a thing
understand...
that should be let go. This is terrible.
Yeah, I understand, they're porting, their games to the Switch and stuff, which could be seen as cool, but at the same time, it's they're just taking advantage of games that are from 2011. One specific game from 2011, and they just keep adding on to it and keep trying to make money off of it instead of making a new game. And they've, even before this, last year with the review policies and stuff, where they're only gonna send out games to influencers instead of reviewers, they get them the day before because they're only going to send it to people who will positively talk about their game. I guess it's a smart business move, but it's a very shitty consumer move. Just like the Nintendo thing.
So, yeah, it is. And you know exactly why they put that as 800 points. You know, in a bit of a sort of screenshot that was a demo kind of, what they called a reaction gauge, it was priced at 500 points, and then it went up to 800 at actual launch price. Yeah. That's fun, isn't it? So, yeah, you can't buy it with the first tier of credits, which costs £6. You can buy it with the second tier, which is 1,500 credits for £11. Definitely wasn't on purpose in any way, shape, or form. At all, was it? Come on. That's the most blatant thing. It's so obvious what they did. And it's so awful. Oh, it just makes me cringe at just how this is the shadiest of shady business practices. This is terrible, Bethesda.
Do you guys not find this super scary that Bethesda has found a way to charge people money for hard mode? There's literally hard mode.
I think it's terrible.
That's the thing that I find the most horrible about this. It's hard mode. This is something you should just get with the game. Why do I have to pay more for hard? I'll just go and buy Cuphead, fuck's sake. That's a hard game. I'll just go and get that instead. It's what, £3 or £4 more? Fine.
Also, you can get a hard mode with mods as well. This mode that they're including you can just get it with mods.
Yes, just get it with free mods, not your shitty
paid
free
mods. Free mods.
Yeah, this is they handled this system completely terribly again. What they could have done...
it seems to be working, I guess, because they're still doing this stupid stuff. People are buying into it.
Fucking stop buying their shit mods, because you can get basically the same. People are doing the same mods for free online. Go and get those instead. They'll be fine. I mean, they could have made this so much better by doing what I always maintain they should have done since they first tried paid mods. Just make it an optional donation.
Yeah, but then they don't get guaranteed money.
No.
Oh, no! I thought this isn't supposed to be about supporting Bethesda, though. This is supposed to be about being a friendly community for the mod creators and supporting them! Just a donation button would have been fucking fine. Loads of people would have donated. You could have taken a little cut of your shitty money, and then the mod creators could have got paid for their work, and it'd be nice, and everyone would be happy with you. But no, you ruined it. You just spunked all over it, like you got a lovely cake, and you just put your dick in it. You fucking idiots.
Wow.
Oh dear, I got a bit more impassioned there than I thought I would. So someone else, please step in.
I mean, to be honest, I think you said most of what needs to be said.
You've covered it. You summed it up in a quote.
Yeah, you did. It's just something that I don't think we're really going to see change for a while because, again, people must be buying into it if they keep doing it.
You kind of got to quote Wesley here, really, don't you? With what he always says. It's like, if we really don't want it to happen, we have to speak with our money and just not...
Yeah, we do.
Not buy
and
it. Just
people are
completely
sheep, so
boycott it,
that,
and
so
then
just
maybe
carry
they'll
on.
learn, maybe they won't, you know.
Oh, please, yes they will. That's why freemium games are still a thing. So I think I managed to single-handedly handle the topic of paid mods there in a very calm and fair manner, balanced. I think
Definitely.
I think that's a good time to move on and talk about the last thing on our list for this week. So Warner Bros are a shit company, aren't they?
That's how you start every one.
Haven't heard that before.
It's just completely hot take. You won't hear this opinion anywhere else. Just Monolith have handled, well, not Monolith. Monolith are having a bit of a raw deal on things. But Warner Brothers haven't handled Shadow of War with the highest amount of grace or tact, have they? Just to sort of try and quell the fire a little bit, Warner Bros. Thought it'd be a great idea to send one of Monolith's developers to an interview with Eurogamer. That didn't go very well. Oh, it really didn't. It was something. Goodness gracious. So, while I'm going to look up the article again, just to get various quotes that are necessary, why don't you two talk about Shadow of War and your opinions on it?
Well, the game is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I played it. It feels like one of the best playing games I've ever felt. Like it's actually very surprising to hear that every single complaint from the first game is being addressed and handled very well. Because they could have just basically made Shadow of Mordor again, just with a few extra features. But this time they just really went all out. Like, the map is massive and incredibly varied. They have all different types of storytelling and different side quests and, like, areas within areas and mini-bosses and stronghold takeovers and sieges. And they really expanded on the Nemesis system. They just kind of went all out, arguably like Destiny 2, but I think Shadow of War is going to do it better. In terms of just expanding on everything from the first game, which is really, really cool. And it's just kind of a shame that there's been all this bad PR lately. Like, I know we've talked about it almost every week on the newscast, just like we talk about PUBG. A lot of their PR has just been them, like, trying to sneak by doing something bad. Like, kind of trying to cover it up, but then people are just like, what? No, why would you try and get away with this? Like, are you kidding me? Like, for example, the donation DLC that they did with the developer that died. They wanted to send a cut of everyone who buys a DLC. They wanted to set a cut of that price to the family, but there were certain states that they didn't take a cut from to send to the family. So people were like, okay, what the hell are you doing in those states? And they never really answered that. And then they just ended up making the entire DLC free, which is, like, cool. But at the same time, it's like, yo, you should have just done that in the first place. And now they're making a donation to the family themselves. It's a lot of situations like that are just kind of surrounding the game.
Sarah, what do you think? What are your opinions on Shadow of War? Because you've not done a lot of talking, and I've done a bit too much.
I don't have a massive opinion on Shadow of War. I didn't play the first one. I have it, but I've not played it. And I bought it because everyone was like, it's really good! So I got it. And then it just sat on my shelf with loads of other stuff.
Sounds about right.
I think, like, obviously introducing microtransactions into a game which is full price is always a bit of a really? And the fact that when they did do that, they introduced it as a whole, oh, it's okay, you know, you can still get the same stuff in the game, this is just quicker, basically. It's like, well, for a game where there's going to be a lot of grinding anyway, because that's kind of the nature of it, really, why are you kind of taking away the grinding aspect by you can just buy it? It's like, well, are you openly admitting then that the grinding in your game is really boring and tedious? Because if it was fun, you wouldn't really need a shortcut unless, you know, you just have like no time in your life and you just want to complete the game in a day or something. And this probably isn't the game for you if that's the case.
True.
Well,
it just seems like poor thing there.
It does. On that point, though, the person in question, Bob Roberts, from Monolith, was given the task of trying to justify the microtransactions, and he used that kind of analogy quite a couple of times. He said that obviously a lot of people don't have time to complete the game, so they're just yes, and he compared it to having difficulty settings or cheats. It's like, remember when difficulty settings cost money or cheats cost money? Oh yeah, they didn't. It's like you can give that argument, but if you're comparing them to cheats, it's like, yeah, you can complete a game quicker with cheats, but a cheat didn't cost money. Like, if you wanted to play GTA with, like, and get your health back or have infinite health or all the weapons, you didn't have to pay to do that. You didn't have to pay for the cheat code.
But Snowy, innovation.
Innovation. The ability to pry my wallet open for a little bit more content to make my game go a little bit quicker.
Call me crazy, but I thought part of the sort of desire of a AAA game was having a butt ton of content so that it takes hours to do. You know,
yeah,
because you're paying like 60 quid nowadays. You know, I don't want it to be over in a day. I want my money back if that's the case.
I don't want my Call of Duty 6-hour campaign. I want this. Yeah, this game is all some people are going to be able to afford for ages, even if they don't have a lot of time. They want this game to last them.
You want to get your money's worth out of it. You don't want to pay more money to make it even shorter. Why?
I know, it's like the argument they use all the time is people don't always have the time. No. People go in, especially to a game like Shadow of War, with the expectation that it will take a lot of time to complete. Even if that means that if someone has slightly less time than somebody else, it'll take them maybe a few weeks as opposed to a few days. They still go in with that expectation.
Yeah.
Like, surely they're not going, well, goodness me, I only have a couple of hours a day where I can play this game. Wouldn't it be so much easier if I could make that last just a little bit less time? What? No!
And I'll pay to do it.
They're using this logic, but it's logic based on the fact that it's a loot box system.
Yeah.
So
it's not even guaranteed.
No, it's not even guaranteed that the thing you're paying for will make the thing easier. Or, like, do the thing that you want it to do. So, I mean, this sounds a lot like gambling to me.
Yes, 100%.
Weird that it's not regulated in some way, though.
I mean, that's loot boxes in general, though.
Yes, loot boxes should be regulated because they're pseudo-gambling bollocks.
It's like the thing with Overwatch. I believe it's China, where Blizzard has to give the probability for items now in those loot boxes. They have to because of the gambling laws there.
Yeah.
Indeed. Fucking dumb. Just the loot box craze at the moment. People try and justify them. It's like, no, they're not putting it in for your enjoyment. Loot boxes have been put in the game because they're popular and they make money. That is the only reason. Any opinion on the attempts to justify loot boxes? I'll link you to an actual transcript of the interview, and then you can both read it and come up with some sort of view on this, what you think of his arguments. I mean, he does a lot of dodging questions.
What a politician.
I know. Well, it's almost as if he probably doesn't believe what he's being told to say.
Or he's been told what not to say.
Exactly, like his Warner Brothers overlords have told him what to say and what to not say, so he's had to skirt around a lot of issues. Because he was asked at several points, like, about the loot boxes and to what he'll say to fans who won't buy them. And apparently they're saying that the game has been balanced to not use them.
Is it wrong that I do love how he says, this massive game, and as a designer, the design director, it's like, did you forget who you were? Oh dear.
Oh wait, what do I do for this game again?
Oh, I'm more of a big deal. Oh, oops, sorry.
Yeah. I think it's funny. It's what is really funny is he just keeps referring to how big the game is throughout the interview. Like, this is a massive game. This is a really big game. It's like, yeah, it's got nothing to do with what you've been asked. At all. I get why he's doing that. But then he kind of ruined himself at the end a little bit where he goes, he was asked whether they should exist at all. And he goes, there's so much complexity to it, especially when you see articles coming out about our game or another. It's like, is there a lot of complexity to it? Really? Because I don't think there is.
So he won't even buy them himself. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Will you pay for them? No,
Yeah.
I won't, because the system will just give me the rewards. Pretty much.
I personally probably
Apparently.
will just let the systems feed me the rewards as we balance them. So yeah, basically, he wouldn't buy them, but he's not said it explicitly because he would get killed by Warner Bros. If he did.
Like, no, I'm not going to buy them. Because they're overpriced nonsense.
It is nonsense. It's a load of bollocks. I just.
Oh, he's doing it as a designer. That's quite good. I want to have the experience that most people will have, so I can relate to what people are saying around balancing.
It's like he's saying as a designer, like you'd say, as a mother. As a mother, I think these things are very damaging. So yeah, Max, do you have anything to say about this interview at all, or?
Not a whole lot. I mean, like you said, it's just really him trying to defend something that just really can't be defended very well.
And something that he doesn't really sound like he believes in.
It's just his job. Like, this is his job to defend it. You know, because otherwise, like you said, Warner Bros. Will screw him over.
So yeah, Warner Bros. Are dicks. Let's just end that segment. Bob Roberts. So that's it for the GameCast newscast for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, a subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, along with a link to our Discord where you can join in with some lovely public chat. I'd like to say thank you to all of my co-hosts and guesty people this week. Thank you very much, Max.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Orange Sarah, for being here.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, that's my new word.
Problem.
No
like-
problem.
Let's say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.